Welcome to class soulmates. So in this class, this is what we're going to be making: a built-up neckline. In fact, the top you saw on the thumbnail. So let's get right into it. So right here I have my paper, and we're going to be doing the drafting first in this class, and the next class we're going to be sewing. So at the top of the paper, I'm going to mark my shoulder line. Okay, I'm going to mark my shoulder line. From this shoulder line is where all measurements are going to be starting. So from the shoulder line, I'm going to mark my bust length and my waist length, and then after that I'm going to be marking the length of the blouse that we are making. Okay, so once we have this vertical measurements, we're going to be squaring them like so, as in rule them across. Okay, so I hope you do the same. And after that, to get my armhole depth, I'm going to come off from the bust line by 1.5 inch. This is if you're using your actual measurement as an adult. 1.5 inch from your bust line should give you your armhole length. Okay, so once that is done, the next thing we're going to be doing is to get the depth of our neckline. Basic neckline, in this case 3 by 3 inches is what we are marking, and our shoulder line divide by 2, I'm going to be marking it. Okay, then I'll drop the shoulder down by 1 inch on a normal adult measurement. You could also do 1.5 inches and it will be fine. Okay, so I'll connect the armhole line like this on a straight line at the armhole length. Then I'm going to curve my neck, basic neck measurements, as you can see. So the next thing is to divide my bust by 4, and I'm going to mark it. I'll mark this measurement on both the bust line and the armhole length, so that I can connect my armhole length like this to the shoulder bust divide by 4. Okay, so this is it. I'm trying to get a perfect curve for it. So like I said, bust divide by 4, and we're going to be connecting the armhole and the bust line on a straight line. Alright, so we're going to get our nipple to nipple measurement, and we're going to be connecting it on a straight line from the bust point to the length of the blouse. Okay, because we're going to be cutting it through. Now we're going to get our waist dart. I'm using half inch on both sides. Okay, half inch on both sides. You can do more to tighten it, but in this case I'm doing half inch on both sides of the waist, and I'll connect it to the bust point. Now from the length of the blouse, I'll go up by 2 inches, and I'm going to connect it. This is if you're using actual measurement, because what I'm saying and what is being marked may not actually be the same. Okay, so once that is done, I'm going to mark my waist circumference divide by 4 plus the dart that I took out 1 inch, and I'll also divide the hip by 4 and connect all the lines together. All right, I'll connect all the lines together, both the hip, the waist, and the bust line. Now for the hip area, we're getting basic measurements, after which we're going to alter it. So our alteration begins at the built-up neckline. I'll go up by 1 inch. You could do 1.5 inch depending on how high you want the built-up neckline. So I'm going to connect at the neck points up by 1 inch. So I will go in by half an inch. As you can see, I'll go in by half an inch from that line. Okay, and at the shoulder I'm going to go out by half an inch also. So half inch this way, half inch the other way, and I'll connect the lines together using a curve like so. I'm going to turn the curve the other way around. Okay, and I'll connect the lines like this. So once this is done, the next is to connect the depth of the neckline. You can see the neckline is not a basic neckline, so I'm going to mark the depth of the neckline, and I'll use a curve to connect it together. Okay, so I'm going to get my curve, and then I'll connect from that built up neckline to the depth of the neckline. Okay, so this is what we're going to have, depending on how deep you want the neckline. And what we have in the picture is not that deep. Okay, so we're going to be working on an armhole princess dart. I'll connect on a straight line from the bust point to the midpoint of the armhole. Bust point to the midpoint of the armhole, I'll connect on a straight line. Now to tighten this armhole, I'm going to tighten by 1 inch. You could do 1.5 inch also for an adult. And I'm going to be connecting it on a straight line also. Okay, so whatever it is that we use to tighten it, I will go out by the same measurements. If we used 1 inch, okay, just measure it and go out. You can see the way I'm doing it by the same measurements. All right, and this is the new armhole that we're going to be having. All right, so once we have that, we connect it to an armhole line. This is going to make um the joining not to be short. Okay, when you're putting it together, you're not going to have shortage of measurement. The next thing is to get my under bust the length, and I will square it across under bust length. Okay, so because we're going to be tightening the under bust as well, we need to get the length of the under bust. Now in this case, I'll do 1/2 inch this 1 inch this way, and I'll do 1/2 inch that way. 1 inch, 1/2 inch, 1 inch on the left hand side and 1/2 inch on the front, and I will use my curve to connect it. Okay, so that is what we have. We're going to use our curve to blend it very well. Okay, so you can see that the bust is from the picture is looking quite molded, so we want to mold the under bust as well, and I will be connecting it to the waistline like this. I'll connect the other part as well, like so. All right, now the next thing we're going to be working on is at the hip area. Because looking at the picture, the hip is exaggerated, we're going to go out by 1 inch from the actual hip line. We're going to go out by 1 inch to get the shape of that hip area, and I'll connect it from the waist to the new hip line that we have, as you can see. Okay, so this is what we have. Now the next thing is that we're going to get our bust dart, right? We're going to get our bust dart. I like to do this because it helps to contour the pattern very well. So the difference between the front length and back length is the bust dart. All right, so now we are done with the front. We're going to be working on the back side. We are going to be working on the back. I have the basic basic pattern for the back, and the same thing we did at the built up neckline for the front is what we're going to be doing at the back. A little difference. So by the height that we went up at the back, at the front, that is what we're going to be also going up at the back. All right, and then I'll go in by 1/2 inch, and at the shoulder line also I'm going to go out by 1/2 inch, just the same way we did at the front, and I'll connect them using our curve like this. Okay, so once that is done, the next thing is to connect this on a straight line. Okay, so I'll connect it on a straight line. I'm going to use a pencil to mark this because that is not the actual line that we are going to be having. Alright, so once I have that, I want to make sure that it aligns with the center back on a straight line. It aligns with the center back. Now I'm going to go down by half an inch so that the height of the back neckline is not going to make us uncomfortable. It will align properly. Okay, half an inch, and I'll connect it from the built up neckline point to that half an inch. I hope this makes sense to you. Okay, now you can see that the waistline is kind of deep, so we don't have zipper bulge. Now at the hip line, remember we went out by 1 inch. Okay, and same thing, we're going to be marking at the back hip line so that it aligns with the front. Now we're going to also use our curve this way and connect the 1 inch extra to a normal waist circumference. I hope this makes sense to you. All right, so all we are going to be doing now is to connect our back darts either at the armhole or at the shoulder line. So in this case, I'll be doing the armhole line, and I'm going to use a slight curve for this, a very slight curve, because we do not want to tighten anything at the back. We're just going to connect and leave it the way it is. Okay, while sewing, we'll make sure that it does not have any bulge at that point. All right, so this is what we have for the back, and all we are going to be doing now is to cut the pattern before sewing. So we'll just cut and cut everything that we've marked, following the lines that we've marked. I hope this makes so much sense to you. If it does, please like, comment, and share this video so that others, your soulmates, can as well learn from it. And in the next video, we're going to be sewing this beautiful design. I hope this finds you or you find it interesting. Thank you for watching. Bye.